The episode begins with Itadori Yuji sitting across from a man named Kojo Satoru in a strange room. Yuji looks around, confused, and Kojo asks him, "Which one are you?" To which Yuji replies, "You're the weirdo." Kojo introduces himself and says he's a teacher at Jujutsu Tech. Yuji panics, wondering where his friends are, and sees himself tied up. Kojo tells him not to worry about others because Yuji is going to be executed. Then the episode flashes, back to 2 days earlier, showing Yuji calling the hospital to check on his grandfather. The nurse tells him to visit, but his grandfather yells not to come. Yuji arrives later and talks to him, and his grandfather gives him some final life advice before passing away. The scene shifts to a high school where Fushiguro Megumi is searching for a cursed object, but it's missing. He reports this to Kojo, who tells him to keep searching. Later, Yuji learns that the cursed object his friends are about to unwrap is extremely dangerous. As curses begin to attack, Yuji joins the fight, eventually swallowing the cursed finger to gain power. This causes Sukuna to awaken inside him, shocking everyone as the episode ends. The episode begins with Megumi declaring that, according to Jujutsu rules, he must exorcise Itadori Yuji like a curse. Yuji pleads for a moment, saying he's fine, and suggests they go back to the hostel since they're both badly hurt. Megumi wonders if he's really talking to Yuji or the cursed object inside him. Suddenly, Gojo Satoru appears, jokingly taking pictures of the scene and explaining he came because a special-grade curse object had gone missing. When Yuji admits he ate it, Gojo asks if he can switch to Sukuna at will, and Yuji says maybe. Gojo decides to test him and tells him to switch to Sukuna for 10 seconds. Sukuna emerges and attacks Gojo, but Gojo easily outmaneuvers him, showing off his speed and teleportation skills. After the timer ends, Yuji regains control, and Gojo is impressed that he can contain Sukuna. He knocks Yuji out and discusses with Megumi whether Yuji should be executed or kept alive as a vessel. Later, Yuji visits his hospitalized friends, blames himself, and decides to accept his role in collecting all of Sukuna's fingers. He officially joins Tokyo Jujutsu High, meets the principal for an intense interview, and after proving his resolve, is welcomed into the school. The episode begins with a girl arriving in Tokyo, excited about finally being there. Meanwhile, Yuji asks why there are only 3 first years, and Megumi explains how rare Jujutsu sorcerers are. Gojo arrives, apologizing for being late and handing out their customized uniforms. They head out on a Tokyo tour, which turns out to be a mission to an abandoned building near a graveyard haunted by curses. Gojo explains it's a field test to assess Yuji and Nobara's abilities. Yuji and Nobara enter the building, and Gojo warns Yuji not to rely on Sukuna. Inside, they split up. Nobara takes the upper floors and Yuji starts from the bottom. Yuji encounters a curse and defeats it using brute strength. Nobara also confronts a curse and easily defeats it using her cursed energy and hammernail technique. However, things escalate when a young boy appears and is taken hostage by another, more intelligent curse. Nobara sacrifices her weapons to save the child but is caught. Just then, Yuji bursts through a wall and saves them. Nobara finishes the curse using her resonance technique. After the mission, the trio bonds over food, and Yuji asks Nobara why she became a sorcerer. She says she hates the countryside and wants to live freely in Tokyo. The episode ends with a foreboding report of a powerful curse sighting. The episode begins with a briefing about a cursed spirit spotted at a detention center where a veil has been placed and civilians have been evacuated. Itadori Yuji asks what a window is, and Ijichi explains that they are non-sorcerer members who can still see curses. Megumi and Nobara join the mission, which is only to rescue survivors and verify the situation. Fighting is strictly discouraged, especially if it's a special grade curse. Once inside, they realize the structure has shifted due to a domain expansion. Yuji insists on retrieving a corpse for a grieving mother outside, but Megumi argues it's not worth the risk. As they argue, Nobara is suddenly pulled underground, and Yuji and Megumi are ambushed by a terrifying special grade curse. Yuji distracts it, telling Megumi to escape with Nobara while he holds it off. Despite being overpowered and injured, Yuji bravely faces the curse, but is beaten badly. Realizing he has no choice, he calls upon Sukuna, who quickly takes over and easily defeats the curse using his domain expansion, Malevolent Shrine. Sukuna rips the curse apart and claims its finger. However, when it's time to switch back, Yuji doesn't return, and Sukuna smirks, indicating something ominous is about to happen. The episode begins with Megumi realizing the domain has disappeared and the special grade curse is gone, but he's shocked to see Sukuna still in control of Yuji's body. Sukuna reveals that Yuji can't switch back and rips out his own heart, trapping Yuji from regaining control without dying. He eats another finger, growing stronger, and prepares to fight Megumi. Despite the overwhelming power difference, Megumi refuses to back down, hoping Yuji will return. He uses his Shikigami and fights fiercely, but Sukuna easily overpowers him. Megumi remembers his motivations, especially his sister and the injustice in the world, fueling his resolve to protect others, even if imperfectly. Just as he's about to unleash a powerful attack, Yuji regains control, mortally wounded due to his missing heart. He collapses, telling Megumi to live a long life before dying in his arms. The next day, Gojo discovers the higher-ups may have used Yuji's mission as a setup and is furious. Meanwhile, the villains, Geto, Jogo, Hanami, and Mahito, discuss their plan to seal Gojo and recruit Sukuna. Finally, inside Yuji's soul, Sukuna mocks him, warning him never to peek inside again. The episode ends with a heavy silence and growing darkness in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen.